Talk about this topic that's happening with Vivek Ramaswamy, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all the people that are now going to officially be in power come January 20th. There is going to be conflicting viewpoints on this issue.
It's so sad when we lose people from Harvard, MIT, from the greatest schools and lesser schools that are phenomenal schools also. Perhaps no. But what I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college. I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too. Anybody graduates from a college, you go in there for 2 years or 4 years. If you graduate or you get a doctorate degree from a college, you should be able to stay in this country. And they go back to India, they go back to China, they do the same basic company in those places, and they become multi-billionaires employing thousands and thousands of people, and it could have been done here. People to work for your companies. You have great companies, and they have to be smart people. Not everybody can be less than smart. You need brilliant people. You have to be able to recruit these people and keep the people. It was such a big deal. Somebody graduates at the top of the class. They can't even make a deal with the company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on day one.
And I have a sneaky suspicion that Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy will get their way. What is an H1B visa? Well, if you're an immigrant like myself, you know that there's several ways that you can come to the United States. Well, all of these official ways that you can come to the United States, they come with costs attached to it. You have to pay money to actually get this done, like this H1B visa, where these companies are allowed to hire you because you are a skill set that they particularly need. And maybe they, say, well, we'll hire you to come in here and work, but you have to work in this specific industry and you have to do these specific jobs. And after a while, you will be here long enough to where you can apply for your citizenship. I know this because I had to fill out my citizenship form and actually get an interview process. I have to have a clean background. It's a lot. A lot of people don't realize America, no matter what you do, is always going to be a land of immigration. It's going to be a land where people continually want to come to this country.
The United States has long been a beacon for immigrants, attracting people from nearly every corner of the globe. With the latest figures revealing a record high foreign-born population, it's clear that the U.S. remains the world's top destination for those seeking a new life. Pew Research has revealed that as of 2023, the foreign-born population in the U.S. was 47.8 million people. This marks a significant increase of 1.6 million from the previous year, the largest annual rise in over 2 decades. To put this into perspective, the immigrant population has grown from 9.6 million in 1970. Today, immigrants account for 14.3% of the total U.S. population, an increase from 4.7% in 1970. However, the immigrant share of the population remains short of the all-time high of 14.8% recorded in 1890.
Despite everything that's said about it, all of the racism, all of the America's turning into a dump, all of these comments that people make on the internet is here nor there. Nobody cares. People will still come to this country and they will still push to come to America because they understand that America does allow for a lot of things that other countries don't. One of those things is the opportunity to start a business and to be able to earn your success through the old-fashioned way, which is hard work equals success. In a lot of other countries, these immigrant workers, they can work their asses off. They can have the best education. They can have everything that they need to succeed, and they still will be at a lower level pay because the countries just don't pay the kind of salaries that America pays. So despite us here in America having access to all these great colleges, being able to have access to jobs, right? We're going to get beat out continually by this labor that's coming from overseas, particularly in India. Now, shockingly, this week I have a little friend of my son visiting from Oregon. He's from Portland. He's from Oregon. And one of the things we were discussing was, well, what is your school like? What is your makeup demographic of your neighborhood? And this kid is a little kid. He's 12, but he's sensible enough to know that, yeah, take a look around and I could see my neighborhood is predominantly Indian. 7 out of 10 people is Indian, and not like Indian, Native American Indian, India from India. Guys named Patel, the whole thing. I'm not trying to be racist because I actually kind of low-key look like I can be Indian here. I'm just saying the jobs that are required for Americans to get into these fields are going to be filled from these people from Thailand, India, Asia, all of the Asian countries, even some of the European countries, people who have a specific skill set, like engineering. These are biases, but they're real biases that really happen in the real world. We see countries put an emphasis on certain types of skills. I know for me, from my own country in Belize, One of the skill set they really push for kids down there is not just language arts, but reading, writing, math. Like that's it. Reading, writing, math. If you have those three, you're good to go. Like they don't want you to be a social worker. They're always going to tell you to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, these type of things. And a lot of world countries, because they understand this, they put an emphasis on that. And then the way out is through these type of programs, these H1B visas. So you don't think we're going to get flooded here with immigrants coming under the Trump administration? There's absolutely no way you have a company like Tesla, Vivek Ramaswamy, who I believe his companies are in the medical field. You're not going to have the workforce you need here in America, because guess what America puts an emphasis on? Entertainment, becoming a rapper, becoming an entertainer, becoming a TikToker or a YouTuber. And that is something that is not required when you're trying to push a country forward into a new era, right? Which is AI. All of this work is going to be sourced from overseas. I see this a lot going on the internet where they're like, who's running the show here? Is it Elon? Is it Vivek? Yes, money will always win at the end of the day. We saw that with Trump. We saw that with Biden. Money talks. Well, is this a problem? It's not. It's just, this is the reality of it. And people need to understand the reality of it. Get your children into the mindset of getting degrees that are worthwhile. Stop encouraging them to be TikTokers and YouTubers and bullshit like that, because it is not, I can tell you right now, there's no money to be made from this. This is for people who either have their life together, they're married to somebody rich, you'll see them living off of daddy's money. In fact, just the other day, I saw a YouTube video where they were talking about these children and their children on TikTok, Harry Sisson, Parker, all these kids. And they're wondering, what the hell do they do for a living that they can just sit at home? Well, they're shills for the Democratic Party. They're a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party to appeal to younger voters. Unless you're charismatic enough to carry this type of job and you can command that kind of attention, don't get into it, because you're going to fail. The reason I brought that up is that that kid is homeless now. He was living with his brother, who was a staunch conservative, and he was a Democrat and talking shit on the internet all day about conservatives. And yet his brother was supporting him, putting a roof over his head, and that kid is now out on the street. That's where you'll find yourself. Indians and the people coming across from, different countries are not going to find themselves on the streets, because they're going to work those tech jobs that make them $100K a year. And they're not looking for much. That's another thing, a lavish lifestyle. They're just looking for security, a job that they can make ends meet. And they know how to use their family to make money. These are people that will live one or two generations until they figure it out and invest their money into homes and properties, and then they become rich. Americans just simply, in my opinion, don't think smart. And I think we're going to see an end to, this culture of white America having a lot, because a lot of white people are not pushing their kids to do this type of work. You have to push them to do this type of job. Stop, philosophy major, psychology major. Unless you're going to for a PhD, don't waste your time.
What happened to the white America I know? I know y'all not gonna let them immigrants talk to y'all like that. Some immigrants? Y'all gonna let them come into your country and tell you that you're lazy and unqualified? That's how y'all be talking to black folks. But now they talking to y'all like that because they run the show. Y'all let that South African come over here. He's not even a citizen, I believe. Still the election because you thought it was gonna go in your favor, just for him to turn around and say, no, I don't hire you at Tesla because y'all aren't qualified. Y'all don't make enough engineers. Blase, blase. When in reality, he's underpaying the Indians, right? And then you got Vivek, a first generation American who wants to be white, saying, oh no, Indians are just better. And you look at all these tech companies, CEOs are all Indian. They hire their own. They get in the door and they bring more. Y'all gonna let them do that?
Now, I'm all for good instigation. Like, he's instigating there. Or how are you going to let them talk to you? Like, let's just state the facts. America is not a country that's made up of just white people. All right. He's trying to get you into this mindset that it's them versus us. It's really not. It's your own country holding you back. It's your own country not uplifting your kids and not giving them the help that they need, filling classroom sizes with 28 kids per one teacher, sometimes even 30 kids per one teacher. They are not telling you the truth. The U.S. government is to blame for this disastrous calamity we have on our hand of kids going to school for stupid, useless degrees, like or gender studies. These are not things that are going to get, I could do a gender study course just by going online and researching the hell out of it and actually reading as much documentation on gender history. I don't need to go to college for that. That's why engineering is a really good field, because trying to solve problems in this world. That's what the whole world is solving problems. This is why when they're talking about this stuff, it's like, no, babe, please stop trying to pit foreigners against Americans. It's just their breadth of study and the things that they put a focus on, because they know that that's their escape. That's their ticket. That's their gold ticket out of there. And those countries don't want to do it. They would love to be TikTokers too. They would love to be able to just fart around and do stupid jobs, but they know that they don't have a free meal ticket. And so the only way out for them is to do the hard courses, is to apply themselves, is to do jobs like becoming a lawyer or a doctor, because they know that that is a need that is undeniable. Any country will need that. Now I just want to read what Elon Musk said. The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H1B. Take a big step back and F yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue with the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. This is a threat he's making to anybody who wants to question his stance on the H1B visa. Now, what people are missing from this whole situation is that it's not that Elon or Vivek or any of these foreign-born people, because let's face it, these people, they're like me. They're immigrants. They came to this country. They wanted to set up shop. They wanted to create a life here, just along with many other people that come to this wonderful country. But they need to take a step back themselves and respect the fact that they wouldn't be here if America wasn't as lax and cool about foreigners coming to their country. It makes him look like a person that's full of himself, has a big ego. And I think Elon could have said exactly what he said and left out the part about take a big step back. This is somebody that has so much power now, and he has so much pomp and fullness of himself, thinking that he runs everything because he backed President Trump, that he can do whatever he wants. And people are missing the fact that Trump is going to be a lame duck president come 24 months from now, when they start to put in other people into office. He's only got control of the House and Senate for so long. He can only get so much done for his MAGA constituents for so long. And then after that, he's a lame duck president. From the jump, January 20th, Trump has to make America great again. He has to do the things that are in his mandate, because that is what the American people voted for. And despite what Elon thinks, he is not a natural born American. He's a person that came here and had to do like I did and become an American citizen. He's from South Africa. For him to say that to people should be pretty much like annoyed by this guy. It's like, get a grip, okay? Just because you have your Twitter or your X platform and you have so much money and you're one of the richest people in the world, does not mean you have the right to talk to American people like this. If I was his publicist, I would have told him to take this shit down. We are at a crossroads where we need to realize that America is a country run by corporations, by rich people, and you and I really have no say in it. So there's no point really in wasting your breath, running around, screaming about Elon Musk, screaming about Vivek Ramaswamy, or any of these guys that control things. There's no point. The people that are coming here are not your enemy. These are people quite literally looking for a better way of life. Here's the solution to this problem. Talk to your neighbors. Go out and have conversations with them and explain to them that just because you came to this country does not mean they have a right to treat you like shit and pay you less. Do like all the maids do. And I say this because my maid that I had charged me so much money. She was making more money than it was worth for me to keep her. You get what I'm saying? You're making $60 an hour and you're paying your maid $40 an hour. That's a little too close to what you make for you to justify having a maid. I believe that these maids have worked together to come to some weird agreement that they're all going to set their prices at the same price and make their work at a higher pay. Same thing to do with hairdressers. It's almost like they all agreed, oh, you're making $200 an hour to do hair? I want to make $200 an hour to do hair. This plan can backfire if people come together and start communicating with their neighbors and say, look, $100,000 and Elon Musk is worth billions. You might want to ask for more money than that. You might want to actually start to build a community, a group of Indians, and say, what are we doing here when we could be making 200,000 a year? Or that will put them in their place. And they'll see that nobody's going to want to take the pay that they're offering. But no, instead we sit there and we try to put down other people that are coming here. And instead of saying, look at this as an opportunity for us to all kind of voice together that no, we deserve a living wage. What you think about the situation about the H1B visas? I believe that Ann Coulter was right all along. I remember watching her and I absolutely abhorred her as a person. I thought she was one of the most disgusting, racist type people ever. And then I came to my senses and realized that a lot of the stuff she's talking about is because she's a national. She's an American national. She believes that America first, America first, America first. If that's your stance. But she's not going to get anything she wants out of Trump this coming administration. He's got too many people around him that are rich, that supported him to get him into this position, that are going to be pushing their agenda. I don't know, guys. I feel like at this point, we better start building better communities. But have a great day and think for yourself.